Hey traders, David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. You're here for another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis. Today is Tuesday, September 24, 2024. We are looking at a daily chart of the SPY or Spider, which is the proxy for the S&P 500. What do we have on that docket today? Well, Mrs. Market continues in a grinding, narrow-ranging, but yet melt-up operation above all the moving averages, and the trend is in fact still your friend. At face value, there's nothing wrong with the market, nothing wrong with the tape. Again, narrow ranging day, yet for the last, as we can see, 4 days in a row, it's been a narrow ranging day, and all they're doing is creeping along, building energy, essentially running sideways to make another move higher. When you look at a big picture and you take everything we talked about for the last couple of days, there's no material change from today's market. It was another narrow-ranging, light volume, low participation type of day. But wait, there's more. What about the lazy swing trader automagical algo system? Not a tremendous trade. It's just another base hit. I just want to display how this works. Lazy swing trader automagical algo system. So JPM a couple of weeks ago was falling out of bed. Nobody wanted to buy it. We stepped in. The lazy swing trader automagical algo came up with a buy on the way down, picked it off, not at the low, near the low, and as they grind up, we booked a base hit today. The rest of the trade is what's called a risk-free, emotionless trade because we have a profit or a base hit in our pocket. It is the minimum required base hit, and the remaining portion of our position is risk-free. It's a trailer. We have more exit targets along the way, and therefore we get what's called in the trading parlance a free ride. JPM, base hit, lazy swing trader, automagical algo. What do we have from an inside the numbers and live room perspective today? Anybody make any money today? Help a brother out, post it under the video. There are people out there looking for a helping hand. They're looking for a place they can learn how the market works, apply a skill that can be learned, and make money doing it. That's what they're looking for. If you think this is a place that can happen, help a brother out and notify them in the comments section under the video. Do you find value? Can you make money here? We're going to go over a few important numbers, a couple of important standout things. What I urge you to do is pause the video, read the notes, go back to the chart, and double check the work. All-time high is 572.88. Didn't happen today. Target 571.85 if they were going to rally them all the way past Thursday's gap. Didn't get there. 570.90. Got that into the closing bell today. That was a piece of unfinished business. 570.90. All these three numbers are put on the board at 0 dark 30. 570.90. Got it into the closing bell on a closing basis. Hit it earlier in the day around lunchtime. Hovered around there. Ate some time off the clock building energy to do what? Move up yet again. Whether that means a gap up tomorrow or just more of the same, we'll find out tomorrow. Nevertheless, 570.90 identified long before the opening bell even rang. 0 dark 30 notes. That was just one of the things. What about a flip side situation? The bear case is getting below the flat line, and then 568.95 on candle closes. 568.95. 568.95 is the horizontal blue line down here. They did spike it, but they did rally back. Sometimes they come up short. Other times they spike them through. You'll see later on in the notes that this became a bear pivot. Pause the video, read the notes, go back to the charts, and double check the work. Let's just fast forward right down here. 568.95 down to 568 even, give or take, is a support zone for a bounce back in the other direction. Now you could see a zone pretty more clearly. They spiked it a little bit a couple of times, bounced it right back in the other direction. That was, in fact, what's called the morning trade. Bounce back in the other direction. 9 o'clock in the morning, 30 minutes before the opening bell. Narrow things down. Resistance is up here. They didn't get there. 568.95 is support, one or the other, meaning they're going to do one or the other, which in fact they did. 568.95, give or take, is support. 942. Obviously, we know down to 568, as we discussed before, right here, 958. 568.95, 568, give or take, is support for a bounce back situation. You saw it 3, 4, 5 times in the notes from the Zero Dark 30 notes. You don't have to hear it more than that. When three guys tell you you're drunk, go sit down. That was the buy zone. Traders got a nice trade out of it. It's called a base hit with potential. We got the potential. Pause the video, read the notes, go back to the chart, and double check the work. It's all in here each and every day. Everything you need to be successful trading in the SPY, options on the SPY, futures on the S&P, the ES, the micro futures, exchange traded products. They're all directional trades. It does not matter what vehicle we use. We're trading the S&P. I have a relationship with the S&P. It produces winning trades almost, and I say this almost every single day, if not more than one. Stocks on the move, we had Starbucks and Visa. We're going to take a look at those numbers in Visa, the zone. They gave you a little trade at the first number. Late in the afternoon, nobody's trading this one late in the day. They gave you a bounce off the third number. As you can see, Visa, the zone worked most of the day, but they never gave you a whopper or a rocket ride. That's okay. The numbers work. How about Starbucks, on the other hand? Check this out. 94.20 was the buy price in Starbucks. What happened? Well, look down here at 94.20. The low of day happened to be what? 94.19. Ripped it back up in the other direction. Enough said. They don't all work like this, but you have to be a participant in order to get the ones that do work like this. Starbucks, the numbers, situation from the high that was made last Wednesday above all the moving averages. Trend is there's a gap that was left open from the gap up from Wednesday to Thursday. So the official gap by a nickel. There are no accidents or coincidences. There is something that held price from filling the gap. It is unfinished business. Either the market is so bullish that they're going to trade immediately away from the gap in the upward or northern direction, or the gap is not support and they're going to trade through the gap or open below the gap, meaning gap below the gap, as if it was like a hot knife through butter. One of those two things is going to take place sooner than later. We've read this book before. What about the folks down at the transportation department? Well, they're bouncing back above the trend line. As long as they're above the trend line, there's technically nothing wrong with the transports. Above the trend line, it is the beginning of a breakout situation. They tried it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Here comes a 5th time. How many times are they going to try until they finally accomplish the breakout situation? Above the trend line, she's bullish. Above all the moving averages, which are all the way down here, she is still bullish. This big breakdown candle, you get above and start closing above that candle. That was from Friday, and that will be uber bullish, and that will light the match or light the torch for another yet leg higher. Transports is my second favorite market leading indicator, yet a number one, repeat after me, canary in the coal mine. What about the Q people? Anything going on up there? Anything going on different than yesterday? Well, it was a wider day, a wider range from high to low than yesterday. However, that doesn't mean much. All they did was continue to eat time off the clock in this range up here. Wrong tool. Let me just show you what I'm looking at. In this range, you are now in a channel. They are eating time off the clock, going back and forth until they're ready to either break down or break up. A breakdown is below Friday's low. We talked about it last night. That's not necessarily a breakdown of the market, but it brings the gap into play and the moving averages into play. And if they continue eating time off the clock and do not break below Friday's low, they will be building energy to make a move higher to the next place up above. And we're going to call it 488.50 for argument's sake. Could it be 489? Could it be 488.25? Absolutely. That's the general ballpark. That is the next target. It is also pretty close to the entrance of no man's land, where you have a gap on the other side all the way up here, which becomes the next target if they can get into and stay into no man's land. If they can get above this breakdown candle high, 488.80, that's your bogey to go fill the gap up above in Team Qs. What about the financials? A little bit of a down day in the financials. Not sure if it's a canary in the coal mine just yet. Down 0.8% into the 20-period moving average. We'll gauge it once again by whether or not they stay above all the moving averages or they start to leak below the 20 and bring some other stuff into play. Might want to fire up your sticky notes. I'm about to give you a number that's extremely important in the financials. 44.30 is a bona fide number in the XLF. Start getting below and daily closing below 44.30. Watch out. That could be, I repeat, could be. It's not set in stone just yet. Could be an Irene situation. What about Smashmouth? What's going on over there? An outlier today. You have relative strength up 1.86%, $4.45. That's a good day for the semi space. Qs were up $2.33, 0.5%. So tech was leading today, and you have the 100-period moving average and this pivot high here from last Thursday. Last line of defense, that turns it back upward, going for the highs up here at 252 and change. Last line of defense, 100-period moving average. Good day for SMH. They want to break the chain. The bulls want to break the chain of the lower highs. Not a tremendous mover today across all the markets. Therefore, said everything we wanted to cover today, and we'll go with this. If I told you how much I appreciate each and every one of you, without you, these videos are not possible. That is true and accurate information. We're pulling the ripcord here today. I'm David.